Was this the NSA?
All right, guys, and we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jared Kingston. I'm with Aperio as a consultant, and I head up the MVP office hours and just the organization of it. If this is your first time on the call, let me just give you kind of a brief rundown of how these go. So this is really the Answers community live, essentially. So we have, you can chat within the web portion of the meeting. You can speak up if nobody else is talking or looking for questions. You can also raise your hand within the web meeting as well. So any one of those will work to ask questions. The only thing we ask, because it's an open line, is that you mute yourself if you're not talking, so we don't get barking dogs or crazy background noises on the line. So with that being said, we have a good bunch of MVPs with us today. So I'm just going to start from the top, and no need to raise your hands, MVPs. I can pick you out at least from the web portion of the meeting, and then if I miss any, feel free to speak up. So we have Andy on. So Andy's been wanting to join for a while and finally was able to. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you.
So Andy can answer all your Force.com programming questions, coding questions. So make sure to, if you have them. Brendan.
Hey guys, this is Brendan Conroy. I'm a consultant with Monday Call, Summer 13 MVP, and I'm fighting a nice little cold right now.
No good. No bueno. Well, thanks for joining despite your cold. A MVP Office Hours class is Deepa. Deepa, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, this is Deepa Patel, and I'm the founder and president of Hollick Consulting, a small boutique consulting firm. I'm also Salesforce MVP, a Silicon Valley user group leader, co-leader. I'll be starting an East Bay user group pretty soon here. Ducks are setting in a row, or whatever you call it. I also run the Salesforce Certification Study Group on the Success Community, and Brendan's one of our session leaders as well. Welcome, and we hope to help you guys today.
Awesome. And we need Andy to go ahead and introduce himself. I kind of somewhat did that for him, so I don't want to.
That's all right. Hi, I'm Andy Betcher. I'm a Force.com MVP. I am a consultant with a smaller implementation shop up here in Minnesota. We do pretty much anything under the sun, implementations, customizations, coding, Visual Force, Apex, jQuery, that's my game. So if you have any fun Trigger, Apex, crazy programmatic stuff, I'm your guy, so just shout it out.
And let's see here. We have Gaurav on the line.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gaurav Seth. I'm a administrator at Ashoka, which is a medium-sized nonprofit based in Washington, D.C. So I've been working with Salesforce in the nonprofit sector for about 8 years now. So can do most of anything an admin can do, and occasionally dive into a little bit of Visual Force.
Awesome. Awesome. And then, did I miss any MVPs on the line?
Susan Thayer.
You want to introduce yourself, Susan?
Sure. Susan Thayer. I'm with a company called Sogeti. I'm out of their Omaha, Nebraska office. I actually have a strong background in digital marketing, so if you have any questions about email marketing or campaigns or leads, those are my faves, but hopefully I can help you with any questions you have.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, I think that's all the MVP, so we'll go ahead and open up the line for questions. So anybody want to kick us off with a question? Feel free to speak up, raise your hand, or post in the chat.
No questions?
I have a question.
Hello?
Go.
Hi.
Go for it.
My name is Amy Butchafera. I work with a company called BizBash out in New York. We're a media company. And we sell advertising, but we're trying now to take some, sell some of our products online. And I'm the Salesforce administrator here, and I'm having a really hard time figuring out how to do this. I just kind of wondering if there's anybody else, out there who's kind of implemented something like this on pretty much a small-time level, some kind of DIY kind of thing, or am I dreaming?
Explain your scenario again. What is it that you're trying to do?
We're trying to sell some of a certain subset of our products online.
Isn't that something that Site.com allows you to do, guys?
I'm thinking, this is Andy, I'm thinking you have a whole e-commerce side. You want to be able to take payments for your products, all that kind of stuff? Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, but most of what's out there is for companies selling merchandise, big online stores. We're just trying to sell a subscription, basically.
And you have those subscriptions stored as products inside of your Salesforce org?
Sorry? Well, no, it's not that. Sorry. What did you say?
No, go ahead.
It's one of our regular products.
So it is set up as a product in Salesforce.
Yeah.
And this is Brendan. Let me ask you, you had said that you're in advertising. I've got a couple clients that are in advertising who have kind of a different model than the standard Salesforce model, where say you sell $10,000 worth of products to one person. In advertising, you would sell $10,000 and then you'll be tracking the revenue up to a certain point. Like say in July, you got back $5,000 of that $10,000. Is that accurate in your business process?
No, we just, it's pretty basic. We sell a product to a person and we collect money from them, usually on an installment basis, for long-term products. We also sell magazines, and we're not doing any sort of really fancy, going back and, I know what you're talking about. People are selling like impression-based advertising, and then they're going back and revising what the dollar level is and what was actually delivered. We don't do anything crazy like that. We have basically we have these like online listings, and we want to sell them to a much larger group of people than our regular sales team spends time with on all of our more expensive products. So we want to just have people be able to buy this thing online, and I'm looking into this and I'm finding all of these like extremely expensive, very elaborate solutions, and then things that are not going to help me translate this into Salesforce in any way.
Since you're doing subscription, are you using product schedules as well?
Sorry?
Since you said you're doing subscriptions, like magazine subscriptions, are you using the function product scheduling?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that.
See, I think I saw something like that a while back when Salesforce was advertising Site.com. You might be, and as I said, I haven't looked at it recently, and it's not as advertised recently. But you might want to look at it's because what Site.com allows you to do is do a little bit of custom development with, hosting your site with Salesforce, and it allows you to integrate the products that are in Salesforce into whatever you're developing with Site.com, and it allows you to expose it. And so once you've exposed those products, then what you need to do is look at the shopping cart concept. Say, how can I have someone click on buy and select those products and buy it, right? So the point is it's going to be all custom development that you will need to do. But I think Site.com will give you the vehicle to do that. So you might want to take a look at that.
Okay, that's a new avenue for me, so thanks.
Yeah, take a look at it because I think it will allow you to do that.
Yeah, I'll pipe in with one other direction to take a look at as well. This is Andy again. have you checked out the App Exchange, appexchange.salesforce.com, and looked for their storefront products?
Oh, yes. Oh,
okay.
yes.
So you saw the 4 up there, the Cloud Craze, Easy Venue, and Allegory. Typically, I mean, I've put up storefronts outside of Salesforce before, and there's payment gateways, and there's the mapping back into Salesforce, and there's a lot of that stuff that, unless you go with one of these more packaged solutions, if they meet your need, there's going to be a decent amount of custom development work that's going to go with it to fit your business in the way that you want to sell. But check out Site.com, like Deepa mentioned. See if that'll get you started, and then I guess just kind of go from there and find a local resource to help you kind of poke through some of the development pieces if you need to.
Okay, great.
Some other things on the App Exchange is there are some, as Andy mentioned, you really have to pay attention to how are you going to process those payments. That's probably going to be the most difficult and where you want to spend the most time. But there are some actual forms out there. If you have an existing website, you might consider just adding an order form to it, a secure order form that can process payments. And there's a couple of really good ones out there, and they can pass that order information to Salesforce, what that's be like.
Do you know what any of those are?
Form Assembly is a good one. There's another one that's escaping my mind right now, but Form Assembly I know is really good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we have something right now that's kind of doing that, and it doesn't work very well. So I got to think that there's something better out there for the little guys.
There's a tool, an online kind of donation platform that a lot of nonprofits use called Click and Pledge, and they do actually let you sync to Opportunity products. They have their pros and cons in a lot of ways. They're kind of they're not a heavyweight solution necessarily, but it's worth checking out because they do let you kind of create a storefront pretty easily. There's also Linvio, which they have a product called Payment Connect, which I used many years ago, but I believe they do let you set one of their products lets you set up kind of a fairly lightweight storefront. So, and they integrate reasonably well with Opportunities and I believe with Opportunity products. So those are two that you might want to look at. They're generally used for nonprofits managing donations and perhaps subscriptions, but they both might be able to integrate with Opportunity products.
Great.
I have a client right now who is integrated Linvio, but I haven't taken a deep dive into it. But they do have a payment system, and I do see a lot of their development in within Leads and Opportunities. I haven't seen it in products, but I do see it in Opportunities and Leads, and almost every record object in Salesforce I've seen their integration. So that's a good suggestion. But I haven't taken the deep dive, so I don't know 100% of exactly what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, Click and Pledge definitely does op products, but definitely check them out, see if they'll meet your needs. It's an interesting app.
And I know this is Jared. We should stop the presses. We have Geraldine Gray on the call with us. So Geraldine, thanks for yes.
Welcome.
You had some. It looked like you had some good insight on the chat as well on this.
Totally busted. I was just stalking you guys. I don't normally join in. So SteelBrick is a CPQ tool that will allow you to manage subscriptions, products, services, bundled packages, and put kind of if this, then sell that. It's $45 per user per month-ish. And it's really a great, robust solution that will allow you to not let people sell things they shouldn't be selling, as well as your quote.
Nice.
Well, thanks everyone for your suggestions. I got a lot of stuff to look into now. That's really helpful.
Linvio is also a really good one too. And now I'm going to put myself back on mute. I'm just quietly listening, totally busted on that one. Thank you guys.
The insight. For the information there. We have a question here from Jerry Reed. He's just asking for a particular marketing automation solution that the MVPs prefer or recommend from a small business standpoint. So I know Susan has got a lot of experience there, but I know other MVPs may have some as well. So,
What kind of small business is it? Is it B2B or B2C?
It's B2B.
Well, I'd really like, this is Susan, I'm really impressed with Pardot. From a B2B, especially from a small B2B standpoint, if you don't have very many records, if you have a lot of records, it could be cost prohibitive, but it's essentially $1,000 to get started, $2,000 for kind of the medium-sized package per month. It's a flat fee. It doesn't matter how many users you have, which is really nice from a small business perspective. But once you start getting over, I think it's 30,000 records, then they start adding on just a little bit each month, so it can start to add up. But Pardot from a B2B lets you do a lot of lead automation. So if a lead is showing interest in your product, or if they're scoring high, such as they're a CEO, or there's some sort of metric that you're looking at measuring and they're measuring high on, you can raise them to the top so that your sales reps are alerted to the fact that they're actively looking at your website. Maybe they downloaded a white paper, whatever they're doing online on your site, you can be alerted on it. And then you can automate your responses. You can actually create a task in Salesforce if you want someone to call them. Or you can send them an email. You can assign them to a campaign. There's a lot of automation in it. And what's nice from a small business, it's really easy to use compared to other marketing automation tools. Marketo, all of those are really nice, but they're cost prohibitive for small businesses and kind of difficult to use. Another one that I've looked at that another MVP recommended was Dashcord. Haven't had a chance to actually use them yet, but I was really impressed with what I saw, Dashcord.
I have started implementing Dashcord, and I've done one campaign so far, and it's still in the learning phases, but the thing that I love about Dashcord is it's completely integrated. It's native on Salesforce. So setting it up was a lot easier because it was all in Salesforce. I still have to understand some of the nuances, but that's what happens with any package you take, right? Like any brand new package you work with. You have to understand the nuances of what it does and how the data flows. But two guys in Australia, and it definitely is a great native package.
Awesome. Any other insight there from the MVPs? All right. Gary, does that help out?
Yes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Jared. Tout app, T-O-U-T app, is something that a lot of the small Salesforce partners use.
What's it called?
What was that?
Yeah, it's like you've never heard of it. It's called Tout, T-O-U-T, Tout app.
T-O-U-T, like you're pouting?
T for Thomas, T-O-U-T,
Oh, Tout.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very small. Like if you don't want to invest a lot of money in something, it seems to be a favorite amongst the AppExchange partners.
Hey Geraldine, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone? You're like the queen of the MVPs. Can you just introduce yourself?
Okay, I was just I'm Geraldine Gray. I started the Go Geeks about 5 years ago. I was just happened to be working from home today and was able to listen in on the call, but I was just stalking and adding stuff to your chat, and then I got busted for being online. So I'm like typically I'm not home on Fridays, usually playing golf or something like this. Or working on site, but yeah, hi everybody, and I'm happy that you're letting me totally crash your call. So thanks.
Well, we're happy that you're participating and helping out everybody out.
Well, I guess I know some like we work a lot with the partners, so we have some of their sneaky secrets. Anyway, I'm going to put myself on mute, and I'm not going to gate crash your call anymore. I'm just listening. I'll put it in the chat message, right? I'm not gate crashing anymore. So thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you. All right, our next question comes from Chris Bradley. Is anyone having out-of-the-box mail merge button with Windows 18? kind of a
You're
hassle.
cutting in and out. Can you repeat that?
Sorry. Yeah, he's just wondering if anybody else is having trouble with out-of-the-box mail merge button with Windows 8 machines.
Oh.
I'm on a Mac, right?
I'm on a Mac too.
The one thing I do know about the mail merge stuff, and if somebody else has a better answer than this, then I'm going to spout out here, then feel free to shoot me. But the mail merge functionality, I think, only works with 32-bit version of Office. Windows 8 and the Windows Office that runs on 8, like 2013, is all 64-bit. Does not work with the mail merge stuff yet.
Do you have any idea, or do they have a timeline of when it might be compatible?
I'm searching for that right now. I don't remember any, but I'm looking here. Hold on.
Yeah, because I was on somebody's Windows 8 machine yesterday, and I found on the help forums like 14 settings you got to go adjust on IE, and I was able to get it to work, but I mean, you'd have to hit every single Windows 8 machine.
Oh, well, this is Susan. One workaround for that is to use the extended mail merge solution. And essentially what that does is email out a copy of the merge document. So it's not the most user-friendly solution. It's kind of an extra step. At least you get the mail merge.
Yeah.
And if you're really not wanting that, there are some apps on the App Exchange that do a phenomenal job of merging documents that you might want to look into.
I mean, we subscribe to Conga.
Oh, yeah, you totally need to use that.
You totally need to use that. That's like the best one.
Yeah. But just for I want to merge my contact information into this Word document. The mail merge has always worked great for that. And that's what some of the managers use. And it was a regional manager that I had to tinker with yesterday, and he was like, well, I had a Windows 7 machine and it worked great. Now I get this Windows 8 and now it won't work. And it's like, I'll see what I can find. But
my name is Ohad. I'm calling from ID System in New Jersey. I'm not an MVP, but we also use mail merge in our organization. And unfortunately, I think it's a very, very unreliable solution. Even with Windows 7 you can encounter, and even with Windows XP you can encounter a lot of issues. So I built myself a little knowledge base with all the different scenarios of what could happen and how to resolve them. But usually, like you said, it's a multi-step. Every time one of my sales reps that they use the mail merge for a quote or whatever has to use it, and it suddenly starts getting errors that it never received before. I have to start going over to everything that might be the case and start deleting cookies, checking security, all these fun other things that I'm sure you found out yesterday you have to do.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
So, and the worst part of it is that you have to use Internet Explorer. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's kind of an old generation kind of solution. I don't know if necessarily Salesforce are going to invest any more resources into making it more reliable and support 64-bit out of the box.
Really? That is
you
why
think if
they have Conga, it would be a very good idea to, encourage them to develop a template that can be global, that can be used by everybody, and then they just use Conga to generate that document, because then you don't run into any of these issues where you have to go adjust this and that. And, if they're already subscribing to it, it's a much better solution to just encourage them to say, develop a Conga template and go.
That may not be a bad idea.
This is Andy one more time. I just found something in here. So there's a notification here from Salesforce. They say they have no plans to make mail merge work with Windows 7. Their solution is extended mail merge, and I think that it was covered by somebody else, I think, while I was searched up there.
Joy. Okay, thanks.
Awesome, thank you. Hi, right, our next question will go to a raised hand here. Ohad, you had a question?
Oh, thank you. So this might be more of asking if anybody has done something before. So we have a custom object that we created that relates to opportunities. And the way that we consider opportunities to be sort of like a sell opportunity. And then we can have, so for example, we can have an opportunity to sell 1,000 devices. And then we receive specific releases against this opportunity. So customer may say, okay, we close the contract for 1,000, send me 300 tomorrow. And then we may get another release for 500 next week and so on. And so we have a custom object, I call it orders. That was before Salesforce released the order object. And what my issue is when I'm trying to report on my opportunities with orders, what I'm finding is that, if an opportunity has more than one order, then the opportunity line will show multiple times. So I will see opportunity 1, order A, and then opportunity 1 again with order B. And so what ends up happening to me is I summarize this information at the bottom of the grouping. If I look at the opportunity amount and the orders amount, and I want to make sure that overall the orders amount add up to what the opportunity original amount was. So the opportunity for 1,000 devices was $10,000, and then we have order A was for 500 devices, which would be $5,000, and order B another $5,000. I want to be able to see in my report that the total on the opportunity was 10,000, and the total on the 2 orders was also 10,000. But because of how Salesforce shows child objects in reports, the opportunity amount gets shown twice, once for each line. And so the summary ends up being on opportunity will be 20,000 and orders will be 10,000. So I cannot figure out any way to get around it. I'm essentially thinking I probably have to create a Visualforce page to essentially build this report myself, but I'm curious if anybody has ever encountered and found a solution to get around this. And that was a pretty long question.
Are you summarizing your report by opportunities?
Yes, that is correct.
So if you're summarizing it by opportunities, how are you seeing opportunity name or...
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, we're not summarizing by opportunity. I apologize. No, I'm summarizing by something, by customer, for example. So a customer may have 5 opportunities, and then we have, every opportunity that has...
So you just need to add another group summary under customers that summarize by opportunity, and you will get the results that you're looking for.
The problem with that is that we have hundreds of opportunities, and that would just make the report very, very large. And obviously, if you hide the details, then you can't see a lot of the details that is important.
This is, I think, something very hard to troubleshoot without actually looking at the report, right? Here's a suggestion for you. If you put a screenshot of that report either on MVP office hours or even on the Answers board, our resident expert, Steve Moe, will come to your rescue.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is my first time on the MVP office hours, so
have you gone to the Success Community?
I just joined it when the session started.
Okay, so there are quite a few groups. We have the MVP Office Hours group. We have the Reports and Dashboards group. We also have the Answers board. And so what I would do is take a screenshot, post it on the Answers as well, because Steve is extremely active there. And he is our resident guru on reporting as well, and he will definitely help you. My gut's telling me you really just need to summarize by the opportunity and you'll get your numbers, but we need to look at exactly what you're doing. So take a screenshot and post it there.
Okay, thank you very much. I will definitely do that.
Thanks for joining. Our next question here is in the chat. Jessica Osteen. I have best practices on how to improve Visualforce page load times, but what is a good baseline for a page to load in a sandbox environment and a production environment?
Say that one again.
I'm sorry, did somebody say something?
Andy was asking a question.
Yeah, sorry about that. It helps me put my microphone down here. Could you repeat that question one more time?
So she's saying she has best practices on how to improve Visualforce page load times, but what is a good baseline for a page to load in a sandbox versus production?
That's a tricky question. There's a lot. There's an incredibly large number of factors that go into load time on a page. Everything from your internet speed to the Salesforce pods load to the speed of your computer and your graphics card to render the page on the screen. For doing, and of course then it even goes further down with how your page is constructed, whether you're just trying to get a good baseline off of just making a blank Visualforce page with no components in it whatsoever, versus a page that has some page block tables and some page blocks and some repeats and a table here or there. There's a lot of factors that go into it. If you're looking, probably the best, let me step back and say this a little differently. I don't think Salesforce has you should expect this many milliseconds on a page load time. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a lot of platforms that do give a number like that because there's so many factors in play. But to get a good baseline for you in your environment, I would pick one computer as your computer you'll be doing the test from. Load up a Visualforce page with no controller, no extra components, and just have it there and just render it. And then do a timestamp before and timestamp after to see your number of milliseconds. That would probably be the absolute best case scenario, quickest page load time you're going to get is something like that. But I know it's kind of a roundabout way to really not answer the question, but I think that's about as close as I can get you.
No, that was very helpful. Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy. All right. So our next question here, we have 2 questions from Cheryl Feldman. Cheryl, nice to have you on the call. Has a question. Let's see here. Let me read this. Okay. When one becomes a Salesforce partner, she knows they have to go through security review. Are there any things they have to adhere to as far as upgrades? We have 2 partners that are making us do a ton of work to upgrade. It's not like Salesforce where you go to bed on Friday and wake up Saturday and have your summer release. Anything else you want to add to that, Cheryl?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just trying to understand because, like, to me, when I think of cloud, I think of like Salesforce, and we have 2 partners we pay a lot of money for, and we noticed that some stuff wasn't working with the last release, and both of them said, "Oh, well, you need to upgrade to our newest version." I'm like, well, why aren't we automatically upgraded? Like, how does that? So I'm just kind of getting involved with these 2 projects with these vendors, and it turns out both of them you have to do like a ton of work. And I'm just trying to understand, and I know I've also been in contact with my CSM and CST, and they're getting some information. But I was wondering, because I know a lot of you work for partners, and somebody kind of, I guess, try to shed light on like what actually happens. Like, do they have to? I mean, I just assumed if you're working with Salesforce, you operate like Salesforce, but maybe not.
I don't think partners have to, and this is from my experience working with EdvaLogix, which is how I started with Salesforce, where it's a legal CRM built on the Force.com platform. And when I first started with the product, the process that they go through is Salesforce introduces new features. They have to embed those features in their products. They have to go through a full security review. And Andy Boucher can also, I think, talk about this a little bit. They have to go through a full security review and re-push the code out there for people to download. I know that the partners have a different utility that they can use to decide on how they're going to push the updates to customer. Some partners might decide to push the updates automatically. Other partners might decide to say, we're going to let the customer decide, because a lot of times when you do things automatically, if the customer has a little different environment where something else is going to break, they don't want to be responsible for what's going to break, and so it ends up becoming where partners will give the customer the option to upgrade themselves and kind of look out for what's going wrong and then address that. So it depends on the strategy that the partner has established on, what are they going to do when upgrades come from Salesforce, and how quickly are they going to embed those upgrades into their products. Andy, I think you've experienced with this, right?
Well,
maybe not. Maybe not.
No, I would say 99% of what you said is true. Absolutely. The 1% I'm going to add a little bit. I'm sorry. What was the name of the person who asked this question? I'm sorry. Who was that?
It's Cheryl Feldman.
Hi, Cheryl. So Cheryl, the way that the packages work is, you're absolutely right. With Salesforce pushes out their upgrades. I think Jared said, happy day. You go to bed on a Friday, wake up on a Saturday, and boom, there's nothing the difference. When you're working with core Salesforce development, that's usually the case too, unless you're using a certain component or you're using the platform in such a way where an upgrade happens to change the way that you're doing it. Not knowing the package name and not knowing what it does and the parts, the reason they needed to upgrade, I would think there's probably something a little more complicated inside that package that might be referencing an external control or accessing Salesforce in a certain way that they may have changed due to a security reason or something like that. The lion's share of the AppExchange packages out there, once you write it and you put it out there, and I've written a couple and putting them out there for both myself and some of my clients, it goes out there, you write it such a way where it rolls with the Salesforce upgrades. You don't necessarily need to upgrade it because there's like an object no longer available or some of the crazy things like that. It should just work. But if you have a more complicated package that uses other complicated components, or has that has connections, let me step back on that one. There are some of the more complicated packages that may speak back to a home platform. Like if they have a service that their Salesforce package talks to back on their end, there might be a reason for a change if their side changes, right? If their side changes to upgrade an API level or something like that, to talk to Salesforce to get some access to more stuff, that could be a reason for an upgrade.
Right.
But very simple packages that just work within the platform by itself and don't reach anywhere else, you could own those for years and really never have to upgrade it. But again, a long way around of not really answering the question, but hopefully.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was just trying to understand kind of what goes on, I guess, on the back end. I just was under the impression that they were all were supposed to work like Salesforce, and I got hit with two projects at the same time and I'm having the same issue. Both are very, very complex. One is that we handle our agreements and our contracts, and we have our challenges is that we took, what we purchased from them, and then we built Visual Force pages on top of that to kind of connect
opportunities. Oh my God! Yeah.
What happened was at the Summer 14 release, when we were doing our regression in our sandbox, we noticed all of a sudden a lot of our Visual Force broke, and we were like, "What's going on?" And so when we finally got in touch with the partner, they were like, "It's Salesforce's fault," and Salesforce was like, "No, it's the partner's fault." And I mean, it took us weeks to get this resolved, and it turned out to be that they said, "Oh, you should have upgraded to our new version last year." I'm new on working with this, not with my company, but new working on this specific project with this specific group. And nobody on this team seemed to know that this upgrade was out there. And for us to upgrade, we're going to have to redo all of our Visual Force. So it's like a huge, I guess, undertaking for us. I was just trying to understand what exact, and I guess we're just going to have to do it. We're just going to have to take the time and do it. But it's it seems that they said that they have this twice a year, and to me it sounds like we're going to have to do this twice a year, and I'm trying to figure out, maybe it's how we have our Visual Force in the best way, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if and I understand you don't want to start throwing names around here in the public forum, but you said something about that it's Salesforce's fault. No, it's the partner's fault. Yep. At the end of the day, Salesforce is Salesforce. It's the platform we're programming on. We as developers do our absolute best, damnedest effort to make it.
I know, yeah.
But I mean, stuff happens when it gets to be a really complicated package. One small thing can cause the need for an uninstall or a reinstall or an upgrade. And it's just, and you're right. And you're kind of in the perfect storm where there's nothing wrong with what you did. Build on top of the package. I mean, that's kind of in large environments and a very complicated package. That's what you end up doing. That's actually what I've got up on one of my monitors right now as I'm extending the package. But yeah, you're kind of in the perfect storm where you kind of have to back that stuff out, do your upgrade, and then throw your stuff back on it. It's not a pretty process.
Okay. All right, thank you. That brings a lot more clarity. So yeah, I was just under the impression that they were like, oh, if it's on Salesforce, it just happens. And I was like, what is this? Because it was like twice in the same day. I was like, something's not right here. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Everyone's silent.
Oh, sorry there, I was on mute. Our next question here from Don Balk is, I'll make sure you can see that, and I just posted it to the chat. Dang it, I accidentally posted it back to Don. Sorry, Don.
Not a problem.
I'll post this to the chat. So it has a link to the Stack Exchange. So do you want to kind of give in lieu of reading the post?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is create a, well, originally I wanted to create a matrix report and put it into a custom or a Visualforce page. And but what I wanted it to do is I wanted that matrix report to be filtered by the account ID, because when I set up a button on the account page that when you were to click this button, then only some information from that account page would pull up on the Visualforce page. And I have a report already created that's called a repeat business report that it's in a table matrix format. And it has everything I need, but I couldn't get it into the Visualforce page. So then I tried the Visualforce charting, and I came across the bar series, and I got a little bit of it to work, but now it doesn't work to the sense that I want it to be grouped by the product name or the product code. And right now it's just giving me everything individually for the month spread out. So I would have one thing in January, one thing in February, and then 3 things in March, when everything should be grouped together in March, if that makes sense. So basically I'm having issues with the grouping it together by the month and by the product name.
And did you say that you could get this thing working in a regular report the way you want it? You just can't get it on the Visualforce page that way?
Correct. So I have the report in a matrix format, and it works fine, and that's what I want. But I want to show that matrix report in that Visualforce page. And I can't find a way to filter the account ID so that the matrix report doesn't show all accounts. It shows just the account that you're on.
Ah, bingo.
PV0.
Oh, the PV0, that'll get you to the report if you're using it through the native report viewer with a URL hack. But yeah. This is pulling the information through Visualforce though, and I this report I'm ripping through my code library here to figure out what.
Where are you putting this Visualforce page?
So on the account page, I have a button called Account Snapshot just at the top, and once the user clicks on the Account Snapshot button, it just brings up basically, you can find all the stuff in the related list, but they wanted it in a more condensed version. So I have all of the installed products with the service contracts in one table, and then in the next table I have all of the opportunities with the quotes next to it, and then in the next table down is where I would have this RBR report.
Have you looked at the latest feature, and I'm trying to remember which release it came out in, where you allowed to use the embedded report?
Yes, and the problem with that is I can't filter in the account ID, so it just shows the report for all accounts.
You can pass an account ID to an embedded
Yeah.
report, definitely. It's like in the like little tool wrench thing. I've only done it once or twice, but you can definitely do it for the account you're looking at.
Well, yes, on the account page you can, but on the Visual Force page, I haven't been able to do that because I do have those charts on the account page itself, but I want to put them onto that Visual Force page.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because with the API you can embed the charts easily now, but can you pass the filter parameter to the chart?
Correct. I've been working on this for the past 2 weeks, and it's driving me nuts.
Oh man, that's a good one. Andy, have you touched that at all? Like the Analytics API and like embedded charts and that kind of stuff?
No, I haven't gone deep on the Analytics API yet. No, I was digging right toward what Deepa was saying. I thought we could do it through the report on the page layout thing, but yeah, no, that's not.
Yeah, because I've tried the easy way, and I basically have learned that in case I'm missing something, I could be missing something, but I basically just went to the Apex class way and creating that, and that's kind of gotten me what I need, but it's not fully what I want.
This is Susan. Whenever I need to make a report that I can't get to normally, I like to use Google Reports. Have you looked into that at all?
So I've looked into it, but I don't know how I can dynamically get my, because I don't have static data in this report. It's going to be changing constantly depending on which account you're on. So I could do that Google report if I had that static thing, but I don't know how to do it dynamically. Because I've looked into the Google visualization, bringing that in. I've looked into the analytics report chart when you embed that. I've looked into almost everything, and I can't seem to get it.
So actually, you know what? Going down the Analytics API might be the way you're going to do it here. I'm just pulling up. There's in the documentation for the Analytics API, there is a nice little walkthrough on filtering your dashboard results. Let's see here. Let's see if I can.
So yeah, and I looked at that, and it basically just said the way I understood it is you were just looking at the metadata.
Well,
I might not have been understanding it right.
Well, essentially what you're doing is you're pulling the data and you're passing it back into that component. And you can specify your filters in your metadata you're pushing back into the component.
Okay.
I have not done this myself yet, so I'm just reading through it here as we're talking here.
Oh yeah, not a problem. I'm up for any suggestions.
All right. Tell you what, are you on Twitter by chance?
Yes, I am.
All right. I'm Andy Betcher. Go ahead and follow me, and I'm going to shoot you back a link.
Okay, I do already follow you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You're a hot man, Andy.
Sweet.
Well, I'm in the Twin Cities as well, so I attend the developer user group.
Oh.
I think we've met before.
What was your name again?
Dawn.
Dawn. I know you.
Yep.
Hi, Dawn. Now it all connects. All right, Dawn. I'll shoot you this link I'm looking at right here. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, because in the Salesforce Stack Exchange answers, there was somebody that gave me an answer that seemed to look good, but when I was trying to put it into an Apex class, it just kept telling me that this variable doesn't exist and this variable doesn't exist, and so I was trying to create the variables, and then it was just giving me errors, so I stopped. Gotcha.
Yeah, I just tweeted it over to you. Take a look at that. This is how we can pass that metadata in. Now, this actually might be my good excuse to tinker around in this a little bit more, because this is what you're going to need to do what you're looking to do in the Visual Force page. I'm trying to find a good full example in here. They've got to get the filter dashboard results, get dashboard results. Yeah, let me tinker with this a little bit here. Why don't you read that link I sent over and play with it a little bit, and then just hit me up on Twitter if you get stuck again. We'll work through it.
Okay. I probably will be, so I will be tweeting you.
Sweet. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Andy. Well, even a local person, that's great. All right, guys, we have about 4 minutes left. Does anybody want to end it out with one last question? If not, we'll give you some time back. Bueller? All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. Hopefully you found this helpful and insightful. So until 2 weeks from today, we will talk to you then, and make sure to spread the word about MVP office hours, and have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Sounds good. See you guys.